Okay, now this section is pretty much your classic introduction to word problems. So let's get started. So we saw some basic ones in the last one. This is typically what you're going to see here. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the same game. We're going to be that translator. We're taking it out of the English language and we're putting it into math language. So we're going to build to some slightly harder ones, but first of all, we're just going to translate across. Now, I always mention the dictionary, like X is I don't know. Like, what are we looking for? Well, on some of these real basic ones, I guess it's not really necessary. You know there's only one obvious thing you're looking for, but it doesn't hurt to always put it. So when we get to the more advanced ones, it's a really good idea. So we have the difference of some number. So the difference, well, hold on, I should do this one step at a time. Difference is subtraction. So I'm going to put my subtraction sign there. Of a number, well, here's the number, I don't know what it is. So we're taking the difference between a number and 6. Well, difference between two things must mean I'm subtracting those two things. Is my equal sign, 13. Okay, now this one's real simple. At least we got a nice easy setup here. So we're just adding 6 to both sides. That number must be 19. Okay, we've got the difference again. So I'm not going to put the dictionary on these first couple ones. It's so clear, but I'm just going to step through them. But when it's more necessary in the later ones, I'll show you. So got the difference of that number I don't know and 8 is 17. Okay, now let's find that number. So we're going to add 8 to both sides. Okay, the difference of a number and 11. So always pause the video if you want to try it yourself. I'm going to just keep going here. That would be my difference, is subtraction, between these two things is -7. X is 4. Okay, the sum of twice a number. So again, so here's the missing number. That's what I don't know is. So the sum, I'm going to give an addition sign, twice that missing number would be this. So we're adding together twice that number and 7. Wouldn't that be this? Is 15. Now we'll find the number. So we're going to subtract 7 because we want the factor puzzle to be what's left. Divide both sides by 2. That missing number must have been 4. Okay, so again, my dictionary would be the missing number, but the sum, well, what are we summing? 4 times a number. 4 times that missing number, and 2 is 14. Okay, now we want to get this out of the room first. So 4x is 12. Divide both sides by 4. X is 3. Okay, so again, it's I don't know is the number. So I've got the sum, 3 times I don't know, and 7. So I'm summing together 3 times I don't know and 7 is 25. So factor puzzle is what I want. Divide both sides by 3. Get x is 6. Okay, now here's where we're going to start. Our dictionary is really going to matter here. So we've got two numbers that both seem to be missing. But when this happens, so later we actually learned some methods for having like x and y, two different I don't knows. And surprisingly, the word problems then are much easier. I think this is much more difficult. But when we're faced with this and we don't know how to do multiple I don't knows yet, multiple variables, what we're going to do is one of these numbers has to be built off of the other one. And so here's what I mean. I'm going to say one of the numbers is I don't know what it is. Okay, well the second one, so we're going to build. So one is, or maybe I should say the other number is 5 more than the one I just built. So here's what I'm saying. You're looking through here. to see if you've got two things that you're unsure about, two things you're looking for. At this stage, we must be able to build one from the other. So I'm going to just say the first one's I don't know, and the second one is 5 more than that. So now I have both of them defined over here in my dictionary. Okay, now we're going to use this dictionary to put this together. The sum of those numbers. Okay, well that's this and this. Aren't those the two numbers? Isn't that the first one added to the second one? Do you see? And so here's my dictionary translating it for me between English into math. First means x, second means x plus 5. Okay, so the sum of those two is, well, I should have said is my equal sign, 21. All right, now we've got some cleaning up. We've got some like terms here. We've got 2x plus 5 equals 21. Now we're going to solve this for x. Sorry, I'm getting ahead. I'm doing it in my head and I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so 2x. Okay, we wanted the factor puzzle, so now we're dividing both sides by 2. X is 8. Now be careful. This would be a big deal here. We were asked to find both of the numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 8 and we're going to go back to our dictionary. Well, if the first number was 8, the second number must have been 8 plus 5 because it was 5 more than the first one. So I'm doing 8 plus 5. See how I'm using my dictionary? That's x. Okay, good. Well, I needed two numbers. If x is 8, the second one must be 8 plus 5. Or 13. So my two numbers are 8 and 13. Okay, we're going to do that again. So I've got a first number and a second. And so I'm going to say he's the one I don't know, and I'm going to build the second one off of this. So this other number is 6 more than the first one. That tells me that how I can build them off of each other. 6 more than the first one. And then they're telling me I'm adding together the first number and the second number. Well, I know those. That's what my dictionary was for. The first one is x. The second one is x plus 6 is 24. Okay, so now we have to clean up this room before we can solve it. So I'm cleaning it up. Those go together. Okay, now you have to follow all the steps. We've got them together. They're not in both rooms, so we're ready to get them alone. So minus 6. Because I want the factor puzzle. Divide both sides by 2. Now I've got x is 9, but there were two numbers I was searching for. So I'm going to put 9 back up here in my dictionary. X is 9. Okay, great. Well, the second one they're telling me is whatever you found plus 6 more. So 15. So my two numbers are 9 and 15. Okay, pause this if you're wanting to try this on your own. But I'm starting my dictionary over here. I'm going to say he's I don't know. Oh, they did this in a different order. So that might have confused you if you tried it on your own. One number is 4 more than the other. So I need to be able to build the second number from the first. Well, it's 4 more than the other. And then they told me that the sum of those two numbers, the first one and the second one, is 58. Okay, so to solve an equation like this room is not clean, so I'm going to clean it up. Okay, now to solve this, we want to get him alone. He leaves first. We're going to get rid of 4. Now, divide both sides by 2. Okay, and once again, it was two numbers, so I'm using my dictionary. This first one's 27, but the second one is 27 plus 4 more, so it is 31. So there's my two numbers. Okay, similar here, just that we've got negatives is all they've done differently. So I've got my first is I don't know. My second, let's see. Now they've done a different order here, but we have to build one off of the first one. So I'm going to say he's I don't know. The other one is 4 less. Okay, now be careful. Less than is subtraction, but it makes you go the other way around. This is not 4 minus x. This is x minus 4. So less than kind of flips it around. It reads in English for less than I don't know, but less than flips it around. So my dictionary is ready. Tells me I'm adding together the two numbers. I'm adding together the first one and the second one. And when I do that, it is negative 14. So we clean this. We get 2x minus 4 is negative 14. Clean that room. Okay, now we're ready to get it alone. So add 4. Divide both sides by 2. So you're dividing a negative by a positive, so it's a negative 5. Okay, back to the dictionary because I need both numbers. That one's negative 5. This one has to be negative 5 minus 4 more, or negative 9. Okay, I'm going to start my dictionary. Oh, I've been doing it this way, sorry. That's I don't know. My second one has to be built off of that, and here's where we can do that. 7 less than the other. So less than goes the other way around. So it reads, what does it read? 7 less than the other makes it look like 7 minus x, but less than flips it, so x minus 7. Okay, the sum of two numbers is negative 23. So I'm going to add up those two numbers. The first and the second add together to be negative 23. Now it's the same. I've got to clean that. He leaves first. Divide both sides by 2. If you divide a negative by a positive, it's a negative. Okay, now we have one of the numbers. We need the other one. So I'm putting it in the dictionary. The second one is that one I found, minus 7 more. So negative 15. So there's my 2. Now I'm going faster here, but it's the same exact solution to solve. I hope you're understanding. Okay, pause it if you want to try. Okay, I'm going to build the second from the first one, and here's how I would do it. This sentence, 40 more than the other. Well, that would be 40 plus x. So in algebra, we usually put the 40 on the end. You wouldn't have to. It read 40 plus x. It would work fine, but so I'm going to just write it as x plus 40. If you add those two numbers up, it is negative 18. So x plus 40 is a number. It's first plus second. This is what my dictionary is telling me is that number. Okay, put it together. I get 2x plus 40 equals negative 18. So getting the factor puzzle by itself. Divide both sides by 2. Okay, I've got one number, but I also need the other one. So that would be 11. So my two numbers are negative 29 and 11. Okay, I don't know what's different about these. Maybe I'll notice something as I start working it. So I've still got to build two numbers off of this first one I don't know. So here we go. One number is 10 more than twice that first one. He's 10 more. I'll go in order even though it doesn't really matter on addition. 10 more than twice the one that I don't know. Now I've got a finished dictionary. It tells me their sum is 1. Okay, so I'm going to add these two numbers together. I know this is confusing, but that is the two numbers. I'm adding the two numbers together. And in math language, first means x, and second means 10 plus 2x. I know that's weird, but this is the English sentence. We've made it into this. And those two numbers, sum is 1. Okay, let's tidy this up. We get 3x plus 10 equals 1. Okay, solve like we always do. Be careful of that. You have $1, but you owe me 10. Okay, so x is negative 3. But I need both, so I'm going back here, putting in negative 3. Now look how much more complicated this is to solve. I know x now, but it has to go into all of this. This is what they were doing. This is making a much more complicated second number. So 10 plus twice, I don't know. So I got to put that all together. That'd be 10 minus 6. Do you see there? Multiplication comes first. That would be 4. So my two numbers are negative 3 and 4. And what happened here is we just had a much more complicated dictionary. So we got a couple more of those. So the first one's I don't know. Let's build the other one off of it. So the other number is 8 more than twice that one that I don't know. So this second one builds off of that guy. Now we're adding them. So it's first. Okay, the first in math language is this. And the second one, and I know this doesn't seem to make sense. It seems like too many things to be the second number, but it is. That's all the second number is, negative 4. We clean this up. We get 3x plus 8 is negative 4. Start solving this. Divide both sides by 3. Okay, now we need both numbers, so going back to the dictionary. First one's negative 4. I've got 8 plus 2 times that negative 4 if I want to find the second number. Oh, this is interesting. That creates negative 8. So the second number was actually 0. So my two numbers are negative 4 and 0. Very strange, but there we go. Okay, pause it if you want to do this on your own. Okay, so I'm going to build off of this one. The other number is 3 more than 3 times the one that I said is I don't know. So I can build that second off the first. If you add them up, and I know this is strange, I know I keep saying that, but this is all the second number, all of this. It's in math language, but all of that is the second number in there. Sum is negative 5. Okay, got a room I got to clean. 4x plus 3 equals negative 5. 3 leaves first because of the factor issue. 4x is negative 8. Divide both sides by 4. Oops, sorry. That would be negative 2. Okay, so x is negative 2. Back to the dictionary. Negative 2. Now to find the other one, the much more complicated one, we have to put it into all of that. So this is 3 minus 6 from those. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Multiplication is first. This turns into negative 3. So I have negative 2 and negative 3 are my numbers. Okay, now we have a series of these that talk about consecutive integers. Okay, and I can't remember if we'll get all the way to the hard ones. It's going to follow a same pattern. You can see these get really strange. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our dictionary, and please do the dictionary here because it really helps. First one is I don't know. Well, they're two numbers that are in a row, aren't they? So if that's the first one, isn't the next number always one bigger than the one before it? Always. It's always true. So if I were doing consecutive integers, this would always be my dictionary. This one and this one. So I'm going to add them now. It's the sum of these two things from my dictionary. So I'm adding the first and the second. And so that's that. That's the second is 47. Okay, we've got some cleaning up to do. We've got 2x plus 1 equals 47. Solving this. So dividing both sides by 2. Okay, so the first number is 23. Well, back to the dictionary. First one's 23. The next one must be 24. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Oh, I should be doing this. First is I don't know. The second is one more than that because they're consecutive. They're telling me that they're in order. So this is my dictionary. Every consecutive integer problem, this is going to be your dictionary. Now we're adding those two numbers together, and it is 95. Cleaning them up, getting rid of the 1, dividing by 2. Now again, I'm going faster, but we just keep doing the same thing. So, okay, the first number is 47. Well, the next one is one more, so it must be 48. Okay, do another one here. It's consecutive, so they have to still be that same dictionary. So I'm going to add those. Is negative 31. Okay, so 2x plus 1 after I clean the room. Divide by 2. Okay, negative 16 is my first one. My other one is one more than that. Now be careful here. This is a little strange. Negative 16 plus 1 is going to be negative 15. So my two numbers are negative 16 and negative 15. Just be careful of that. Do you see what I'm doing there? My dictionary said negative 16 plus 1. Well, that's negative 15. Okay, now they've changed it here and asked for 3 consecutive numbers. So I've got a first, second, and a third. So the first one's I don't know. Well, how would we build that? Do you see? Well, obviously that's one more. Now we have one that's one more than this. Do you see what's going to happen is that's now x plus 1 plus another one so that they're in a row, and it would get me x plus 2. So make sure you're following me there. This next number is plus 1. The one after that must be 2 more than that first number. And now they're just asking us to add up all of these. And it is negative 96. Okay, so I've got 3x plus 3 when I clean all of this up. 3x is in that room plus 3 is negative 96. We solve it in the same fashion. So careful of this. You owe me 96. You owe me 3 more. Now we're dividing both sides by 3. A negative by a positive is going to get a negative. Negative 33. Okay. Now I'm back to my dictionary. Negative 33 plus 1 is negative 32. Negative 33 plus 2 is negative 31. So my three numbers are negative 31, negative 32, and negative 33. Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, they are coming. Give me just 1 second. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were going to... Oh, well, hold on. I don't know if I did this one yet. I paused the video to do something real quick. I guess we haven't done this one yet. So I'm going to make my dictionary. I've got 3 numbers that are consecutive. So there's my first one. There's my second one. And if they're in a row, it's one more than the last one. So there's my consecutive integers. So I'm doing first plus second plus third now. So there's the first number. There's the second number. There's the third number. You add them up is negative 36. Okay, clean this room up. You get 3x plus 3 equals negative 36. Now, do you see this left is actually the same thing? You'll keep getting these. They'll have a pattern. They won't change. If you're adding the 3 consecutive, it's always going to be this. So now we're going to subtract 3. You owe me 36, then you owe me 3 more, so you owe me 39. Divide both sides by 3. Negative 13. Okay, back to my dictionary. We're seeing the same thing about what's happening there. Okay, so I got my numbers. Okay, I'm not sure if they're going to get real crazy. There's something real tricky here, but this is still kind of hard. Let me show you this. So we've got 3 numbers again. We've got my first, my second, and my third, okay? And we've always been making the first one in line, I don't know. Now, consecutive even. If I'm going to the next even number, do you see what's going to happen? It isn't 1 anymore, because 1 would just get me to 7. My next even number is always 2 steps away. So the next consecutive number, if this turned out to be 6, if I'm going to get to 8, I got to add 2. And if I'm going to get to the next one after that, you see I'd have to add 4. There's always 2 steps between these even numbers. So now I have a new dictionary here. Now I still add them up, so that's not going to change. First number, all of this is the second number. And all of this is the third number in math language. And it is 84. Okay, we clean that up. I got 3x's plus 6 equals 84. Now we're going to solve that. Okay. Would that be 26, I think? Yeah, 26. Okay, so that's my first one. Dictionary says it's 26 plus 2 to get to the next one. And it's 28 plus 4 to get to the one after that. So my numbers are 26, 28, and 32. Okay, let's try another one. Now they're consecutive even again. So your dictionary would look like this, where you're jumping 2 steps every time. I'm going to add them up. Those really are the numbers, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3x's plus 6 when I clean up that room. Okay, so taking 6 off of there. Okay, divide both sides by 3. So I'm going faster on this, but I hope you understand. It's the same thing on each of these. 32. First one, you probably don't need to write it out, I'm just showing you. Going back to my dictionary. Oops. 32 plus 4 would give me 36. And that makes sense. 3 straight even numbers. 32, 34, 36. Okay, one more here. I was just checking to see what was going to happen. So I'd really recommend you pause it if you're having any trouble. So you could check versus what I get here. Okay, we're adding up the first plus the second plus the third is negative 24. All right, solving that, negative 6 on both sides. Now you owe me 24, you owe me 6 more, so you owe me 30. Okay, so negative 10 is the first one. So here's what's going to be a little odd about this one. It's that same thing we saw earlier. So negative 10 plus 2, that's negative 8. And negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. So my 3 consecutive even integers are negative 6, negative 8, and negative 10. Okay, I hope there were enough of those that helps. The word problems, nobody loves word problems, but this is a real good introduction, and I hope that you can see it. Remember, make your dictionary, it's a big deal, and in those harder ones, you're making the second number build off of the first.